Hey guys, and you are sitting with Sony. So today I wanted to come and talk to you guys about fear, about racism, well, not really racism so much in detail, but just about fear or frustration. So there's been yet another publicized murder happened recently. Actually, it happened in February, but it's getting more media attention right now. And it kind of forced me to make this video. I've been really trying very hard not to speak out, even though I've commented and post certain things. I've been trying hard to not to really speak out about this because it 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 brings my anger to a degree that I do not like it to be. For one, it freaks me out because I have a black husband and I have a black son, and it causes me to get in a state of anxiousness because then it becomes the discussion to have with your black son, and it becomes the discussion to have with your husband. And it's things that in black communities, black homes, households, you have to have these discussions. There's really no way around them now. One of the bigger things that I just really wanted to get across in this short video is that I hope my black and brown faces out there are having these discussions with their children, because this is not, the murders are not just happening to grown-ups. It's not just happening to people who are breaking the law, which I know sometimes the people who are being murdered are people who are breaking the law, which still does not make it right, still doesn't make it okay. It's not just happening to them. It's happening to people who are jogging down the street. It's happening to people who are walking down the street. It's happening to people who are sitting legitimately in their own home doing nothing. So I had to have this conversation with my son for the first time when he was 6. And he'll be 9 soon. And we'll have the conversation again with him about certain things, and we bring it up in certain occasions. It's been brought up. It's been 2 times where I've been pulled over with my kids in my car, and my daughter was asleep the first time, and the second time both times my son was awake, and the second time, more clearly in my mind, it plays out. My daughter was screaming, crying. My son was just telling her, "It's okay, Sanaya, it's okay, Sanaya." And he kind of knew where I was coming from with the way that I reacted when I was being pulled over, which I was on a back road. I was on 301 actually, I was coming back into Delaware. So where I was put me in a completely different state of panic. And then the fact that my kids were in the car with me, and it was a white officer on both sides of me. And of course, I called my husband immediately after. "Are you okay?" I'm fine. We'll be there soon. Like, I didn't get a ticket or anything that day, but the way my body naturally reacted, the way I naturally lashed out at my kids, "Stop talking people, don't make any sense," like, just my natural reaction was where I had to have a conversation with my son and let him know, for one, I'm sorry that I reacted to you like that, and having to explain to him why it is that way and why you can't do those certain things around cops when you're black. Not when you're white, because when you're white, you can have a whole gun pointed to a cop's head. But when you're black, you can't even scratch your nose. So I am just wanting to send a lot of positivity out there to everyone right now who may just be having this conversation for the first time, or who has to have it again. I'm saying and emphasizing a lot on our black and brown men because it happens to them more, but that does not exclude us women. I can honestly say that I don't get as nervous with me driving or me doing certain things as I do with my husband. When the pandemic first started, he was wearing a mask before it was mandated to wear one. And I remember him leaving the house with his mask on. It was like a black mask. And I remember saying to my friends, it freaks me out that he is going outside like that at night. And I'm scared he's not going to come home. And she was like, yeah, I feel the same way about my husband. And we had a whole conversation. And luckily, I am friends with people who are aware their head isn't in the sand. And I could have them conversations with him. And we, calmed ourselves down. And I didn't have to bring that nervousness to my husband, who was trying to protect himself and make sure he stays safe and comes home to his family safe, as far as having viruses and things of that nature. And it scared me because he is a black man, and for no other reason. And it scared me because I want him to come home every day. And with the world that we live in, it's just not guaranteed that that is going to happen, simply because he is a black man with a black face. But yeah, I know this has been a little grim. It's been a little real. But I just want to make sure that you guys are having these conversations with your children. Y'all don't have to go in depth to have them be aware of their surroundings and be aware of white people acting funny around them, letting them know certain things at a certain age, not for them to fear someone, but them to pay attention to things. And I think that's where my father taught my brothers. My father died when I was young, and I think that's where my father taught my brothers, and my mother taught me more, was to be aware of my surroundings, maybe not to focus on race so much, but just to be aware of my surroundings in general. So maybe that's why I don't remember actually having racial conversations like with my parents. Well, with my mother, I'm gonna guess my father probably had them with my brothers, but I had racial conversations with my grandfather, and I always, it was very rarely a time he didn't mention his viewings on certain things. And I'm very thankful that he did, because especially moving to this state, it was an eye-opener, and it was an eye-opener I was not ready for, and I'm sure his children wasn't ready for, because growing up and being from New York, you get culture shock coming here in Delaware, you seeing Confederate flags and certain things that you just don't see there. And it takes some getting used to. It takes getting used to. I'm saying I'm still not used to it, because to this day, if I see a Confederate flag, I'm going off. This racist effort, and it makes me even madder when I see the black people defending the Confederate flag. Oh, that just means they're a rebel. And I remember the first time I heard a black girl my age say that, and I literally almost slapped her. I was just looking at her like, girl, you are so okay. Keep it moving, chick. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to send a lot of positivity out through times where, for a lot of black and brown people, you naturally get stressed, you naturally feel anger, you naturally get anxious. I just wanted to send some positivity and light and encouragement that with all situations, they pass. And even though they may not have the outcomes that we as a black community would prefer, we still have to figure out how to get past it, because holding it in, for one, is no good, and keeping that anger and aggression and negativity within you definitely is not. So I just want to say thank you for sitting with Sony and sending nothing but positivity.